Senator Vilmer, you're accused of planting the bomb that went off yesterday. What? This is insane.
Conrad, don't do this.
Senator Vilmer, you deceived us all with deceived us all with your harmless exterior. Dora's you. You've been hiding something very important. I will expose your lie for what it is. An illusion. So that's how it's going to be. You've endangered the life of my assistant with your trickery. And for that, I sentence you to rot in prison. Oh, that's not your job, Cross. The only sentencing that will happen is by my hand. You're not mistaken, Your Honor. However, before this trial is over, I'll convince you to see the light of reason. You can't do this. This isn't justice. Then testify. Prove to the court that you're innocent. If you can do that, I'll retract my statement. Senator Vilmer, please explain why we are to believe you are not the culprit. Let's fucking nail him to the wall. You think it was me because I gave a speech? And the note? You think I typed it? I didn't have a computer. Ah, terrorists attacked us. How could it not be them? Their fake bomb in the basement level is a clear indication that they are involved. And that girl, she's working with them. Check that detonation trigger. It was in her pocket, not mine. Check it again. You'll find that my fingerprints are not on that device. Cross-X Chloe in the air. Dora. I did say that there was like God, what the whole reason he had to defend her is because like to make a love triangle between him, between Cross, Chloe, and Flocking. But I don't know how old Chloe is. I don't even know how old Cross is. Oh God, we're all making the assumptions. Watch we'd be like, everyone's 16. You all are degenerates. So you're innocent because your fingerprints aren't on the detonation trigger. That's right, see? It couldn't have been me. Well, Human Cross, I don't see how you can refute this. No, there has to be a way. I just have to go over the testimony again. I will check the book of lore, hold on. Because I gave a speech, it has to be, he didn't know, how do you know about the bomb? Marked with a symbol. I feel it has to do with this. Like, we didn't know about the bomb until... Think. Fingers are not on that device. I feel like this is chapter 23, Chloe's 19. Okay, cool. So there is possibility of Chloe Cross ship. Would it be Crowy or would it be Kloss? I'm already gonna call the Flocking Cross ship Crocking. I'm not calling it flossing. Oh, that wouldn't make sense. It'd be floss. Yeah, I'm not calling it floss. I'm not calling it, but I'm calling it crocking. There we go, yeah. I feel like the fake bomb, him saying it, because how would he know about the fake bomb unless... Although floss doesn't, yeah. I'm gonna try it. I think it's... Senator, you misspoken. It sounded as you're wrong. No, how exactly? Well, shit! For you. I have an explanation for you. A dangerous criminal. contains only Skylar's fingerprints. You know what? Yeah, how's she working with them? I think, yeah. Nope. Fuck. We need Dora to solve this. You know what? Okay, so you think it was me because I gave a speech? And the note, you think I typed it? I don't even have a computer. Wait. It's handwritten. Oh my god. Dora and I got to it at like the same time, but I'll give it to Dora. Hold on. You just said that you didn't type the note. That can't be, because this note was handwritten. What does it matter? The human witness simply made a human error. No, that can't be it. There's something more here. Have the analyst check the note again. Tell them to see if it really is handwritten. Huh? What? I just slipped up is all. Yeah, you see, I'm not guilty. Your sister, she's guilty. The detonation trigger. She pressed it with intent. The bomb went off because of her. Nope. It's not possible for Chloe to have pressed the detonation trigger. Really? Yes, I understand the problem now. It would contradict this piece of evidence. Yeah, only Skylar's prints are on it. Read the note. The device itself should explain what I mean. Earlier, we performed an analysis on it for fingerprints. While it's true that your fingerprints weren't on the device, neither were Chloe's. If she was to press the button on purpose, she would use her bare fingers. Since her fingerprints weren't found, this means she didn't press it. I believe it. I see. That does help to clear the defendant's name. Sorry to interrupt. We just got word from the analysis team. The note is indeed printed, not handwritten, sir. Printed? That's right, Your Honor. This note was made on a computer. It was probably made to look handwritten in some computer program. Which means it is pointless to analyze the handwriting. This means they're able to wipe off the prints without messing with the writing. There goes that lead. No matter, we'll just have to get them another way. Hold on, wiped out the fingerprints? Ah, that's it! What if the fingerprints on the detonator were wiped off? And when would the human defendant have time for such a task? That's right, it happened during your speech. Then everyone was held down by the terrorists. There would hardly be time to wipe off this device without suspicion. Who said that? I did! Does he really need to object every time he's on the stand? Apologies for the late notice, but there was an important discovery we just made. Discovery? What is it? A detonator. It contains a built-in timer. Timer? So the trigger doesn't activate right away? That's right. Down at the lab, they say that in order for the trigger message to be sent, the device first needs to establish a connection to arm the bomb. It requires 2 full hours to arm before the detonation message is sent. So what you're saying is there's a 2-stage detonation process? Yep, that's right. Oh shit. So let me get this straight. First, the device sends a signal to arm the bomb. Then 2 hours later, it detonates automatically. Ah, then that means she could have pressed the button before the speech. She could have wiped their fingerprints long before the terrorists arrived. Wait, that thing wasn't even in my pocket until after the bomb went off. Fortunately, if you're unable to prove your claim, we must accept this as a possibility. No, this scenario is not possible. I know exactly why. Order. Well, Mr. Cross, please explain yourself. Certainly. This piece of evidence will make everything clear. Her testimony. She was at the office until 6:30. They arrived at 6:45. The bomb went off at 7:20. Chloe's testimony explains exactly where she was 2 hours before 7:20. That should lead me to more contradiction. That should lead me to the contradiction. Wait, that... What? What? That was it! What? Oh yeah! Yeah! Oh my god, you're right! No, you're right. You're actually right for once. It's the distance! It has... distance that's crossed. The dining hall was close. We're too far away. It only has a range of half a mile. Boom! Torrid, you failed us! This map shows where Chloe was when the trigger was pressed. She was at my office. And what's the significance? Huh? Why does it matter that the defendant was there? Well, I've got another piece of evidence that will explain what's wrong with this. The detonator itself. Tora's always right. Does the court recall the original description of the detonation trigger? Yes, it was found in the accused's pocket. There was one other thing. The effective range. As discussed earlier, Chloe was at my office until 6:30. Since we know the bomb takes 2 hours to arm, and the bomb went off at 7:20. That means the time that the trigger was pressed was 5:20. Correct. This means the trigger was pressed while Chloe was at my office. What does that have to do with the range? Look at this map. It clearly shows that my office was more than a mile from the bomb. Yet according to the original description, half a mile was the maximum range of the detonation trigger. This proves beyond a doubt that Chloe couldn't have pressed the trigger at 5:20. Oh, you're right. Very well. Let us ask the human witness what he was doing at 5:20. Not again. It's me! Detective! Sorry to interrupt. Again, but we just discovered something critical. Critical? Explain yourself clearly, human. The autopsy. It's been corrected. Corrected? You mean... The good news is there's now a time estimate. Good news. Does that mean... Yep, there's bad news as well. And what about the bad news? Well, just see for yourself. Oh no. Wait. Time March 19th? What's today's date? Today was March 19th. But that's... Huh? A whole day before the bomb exploded? That's right. He was dead long before the bomb went off. This raises so many questions. So, the bomb didn't kill the victim. Yes, the autopsy only said that he was crushed. That means the victim's murder was a separate incident from the bombing. Oh, you have fun with that revelation. I'm gonna get lunch. Later. Like, holy shit. I had a feeling that it was gonna be he was dead before, because I remember when we were looking at it, it says the timeline, and I was like, he could have died at any time. I said that. You look at the VOD. I said that. The victim likely didn't die at the office building. Well, in that case, hypothetically, even if you did convict me for the bombing, I could be charged for murder. Murder's not the only crime involved here. This changes nothing. A bombing is still a bombing. Actually, how can we be sure that the senator didn't kill the victim? What are you trying to claim now? You didn't say that. Great job. We heard you. What we need to worry about is why Vilmer would plan a bomb at all. It's a simple answer. He needed to hide this person. Isaac. Isaac Bryant, or rather, his corpse. His corpse? The bombing was a clever disguise for the actual murder. In other words, the collapsing building hid the fact that Brian died somewhere else. And just where did he die then? This piece of evidence points to the true location of his death. The fucking parking lot. The blood that was found in the parking lot belonged to Brian. This is likely where he actually died. At the basement level of the dining hall? And what does that mean for Senator Vilmer? It means, while Vilmer was preparing his dinner for the 20th, he murdered Isaac Bryan in the basement level parking lot. You have no proof. This is conjecture. That's right. You have nothing on me. Chloe,
I need you to call Thorn. I can't. Huh? Why not? Remember, I lost my phone yesterday. Is there someone else who can get him?
Yeah, listen to the defense's request.
I'd like you to ask Darren Thorn to do a fingerprint analysis on the fake bomb.
Right away, sir.
The fake bomb? Yes, if I'm right, then we'll have our proof soon enough. Interesting. The downfall of a criminal. How exciting.
Sir, the results are back. What if it's Brian's fingerprints on the bomb and they killed him to cover it up? That wouldn't make any sense, though. That was fast. They already had an analysis ready to go, sir. Figure showed the item was touched by the victim. Isaac. Oh my god! I was right! No! Ah!
What?
The victim? Again? That wasn't what I was expecting, but I can make this work. The fake bomb wasn't prepared by the terrorists. Since Brian died 2 days ago, he must have touched the device before the attack. This can't be. Fine, but if the terrorists didn't make the device, that still doesn't mean I had anything to do with it. This is my last shot. Let's see how he responds to this. Let's talk about the dinner event. You personally handed out invitations. Invitations, right? Yes, I treat all my guests with the respect deserved by inviting them in person. As we discussed in Chloe's testimony, you handed me an invitation. Around 2 p.m. yesterday, correct? Yes, that sounds right. Who else did you invite that day? Well, let's see. Prince Thorn, Ajax there. I also invited Miss Towers and Miss Flowers. Hold up a second. What time did you give Miss Flowers her invitation? If I recall correctly, it was around 4 p.m. 4 p.m. We've heard this time earlier in this trial. At this time, Flowers was in the office building that is now rubble. So you handed her the invitation at the scene of the crime. Order. Why are you saying that's when the senator planted the bomb? Not just that, Your Honor. He planted something else there as well. Something else? Namely, an item that belonged to this person. An item that belonged to Chloe McCarthy was put at the scene. I'm not following. The order in which Vilmer handed out his invitations is key here. First, he visited my office. Chloe was there as well, though she didn't meet him. He took something from the room while we weren't looking. Then he planted it at Flower's office. And what item are you talking about? This piece of evidence should explain what I'm talking about. Conrad Cross! Chloe's phone. It was taken from her office when Vilmer gave me the invitation. But how do you know Chloe's phone was at the crime scene? Because the analysis team has already dealt with it. No humans have found any phones at the crime scene. That's because by the time the investigation got there, it didn't look like a phone. Remember the burnt device that was found? You can't be. That's right. What we thought were two separate pieces of evidence were actually one item. Okay, Dora. So the defendant's phone is actually a device we thought was part of the bomb? That's right. This explains why Chloe's fingerprints were found on it.
What? So you stole my phone?
No, I didn't do that. Preposterous. Of course, I'm sure the senator took precautions in his plan. There won't be any trace of his fingerprints. However, we did try something yesterday that gave us a clue.
Oh, we called my phone.
Chloe wouldn't let it go, so for hours on end, starting at around 3 p.m., we called her phone, trying to find it. I see. The ringer would pinpoint its location. Only we didn't hear it at all. It had left the office. Assuming the phone was ringing the whole time, 2 people should have heard our calls. The first was Senator Vilmer, of course, and the other, Ms. Flowers. If it is true that Vilmer handed out his invitation in person, then Miss Flowers should have heard our call when she received hers. But call her to the stand immediately. There's another key piece of evidence that I know about. If it comes up, I don't know if it will, but I want to prove how smart I am. If it's about a ringtone, it was Dare's song that was a ringtone. So the only way she would have gotten that is because Dare gave her an early copy of his song, and he talked about it in the beginning. Solve the case.
Very well. The witness is now ready.
Comrade, it's true. I heard the phone. I heard it.
Chekhov's ringtone! Exactly!
You really heard it?
Remember, writers, don't introduce a ringtone to your story unless you're going to have it be central to the plot later on.
Your Honor, this is irrefutable testimony that proves Vilmer was at fault.
The human cross is hasty. He overlooks a simple possibility.
Possibility?
It is quite possible that the human senator's phone was being called as well. To put it bluntly, there's no way of knowing if the phone was heard by Miss Flowers. If the phone actually belonged to the human Chloe.
Is that really true? Is there no way to know if Vilmer stole her phone?
Conrad, I'm sorry. I tried.
Does the defense have anything else to say? Your Honor,
I would like to. Is there a way to prove yes? I'd like to prove to the court that Chloe's phone was stolen by Vilmer.
and how do you plan to do that?
Listen, no turning back now. Time to think. I have to use everything I've learned. I'll need the attention of Mrs. Flowers for this demonstration.
Me?
Miss Flowers. I know someone who can prove to Miss Flowers that she did hear Chloe's phone. This person is... Detective Dare. Call him up to the stand right away.
Didn't he go out for lunch?
We need him here now. Ha! I'm here. Relax. I'm here. Relax. Now, what did you need me for? I need you to play your mix.
Mix?
Is this some sort of joke? Mix. Sweet jams. Got it. Playing. I love the finger guns. Well?
Wait. Conrad, that's it. I get it now. A song. That's the song. That's what I heard coming from the phone that Vilmer had.
I'm fucking smart. Yeah, yeah, I remember the key detail. Yeah.
Is this true? Is this her ringtone?
Yes, this is her ringtone. As you can see, it's very distinct. Miss Flowers remembered it in a heartbeat. Hold up. How do we know this was Chloe's phone? What if the human Vilmer's phone also had this as his ringtone? Not possible.
I only finished the song yesterday. Only 2 people in existence own the file. Me and Chloe over there.
Your Honor, this is the evidence you're looking for. It's impossible for Miss Flowers to have misheard this, song. We've proven beyond a doubt that Vilmer has stolen Chloe's phone.
Ah, I won't let you do this.
This is what really happened. First, Vilmer encountered Brian at the basement level. They must have had a fight over the fake bomb. And why would you say that? Because the bomb had Brian's fingerprints. In that case, I find it unlikely that the bomb belonged to Vilmer.
What? We just accused him of bombing the office building.
The fake bomb contained only Brian's fingerprints. Since we know its purpose was to scare someone into thinking it was real, then we can assume that the one being threatened didn't touch it. Therefore, Brian was the one that threatened Vilmer with the fake bomb.
Stop this once, I'm begging you.
In response, the senator killed Brian. In a hurry, he tried to move the body, but realized there was nowhere to hide it. That's when he formulated his plan to collapse a building on him. Surely there were better ways to hide his crime. That may be true, but I bet there was another motive for the bombing. Regardless, what matters is that the body was moved to the office building. The next day, Vilmer's plan set into motion. He visited my office and stole Chloe's phone. Then he went to Miss Flowers and planted the bomb. He also dropped the phone after speaking to Flowers. At 5:20, he pressed the detonation trigger, which armed the bomb. Then, once he returned to the dining hall, he made his speech. In the meantime, he blackmailed Skylar and forced him to put the detonator on Chloe. The details of the detonation process were still unknown. It'd be the perfect alibi. Everyone could see that Vilmer didn't press the trigger. What he didn't expect was a crash from the terrorists. When Trey escaped to the basement, he simply used what was already there. Alright, your story is logical so far, but there is one thing that I don't understand. If the human senator had a whole day to make his plan, why didn't he clean the blood? And for that matter, why did he leave the bomb the way it was? Because he didn't know it was fake.
Didn't know, but still. My guess is he thought the bomb was using a proximity trigger. You mean when someone gets too close, it explodes? That's right. He was afraid to clean up the mess because he thought the bomb was active. The parking lot was closed off yesterday to stop people from seeing the truth. No, you're wrong! My client is innocent. That should be as clear as day. You are correct. I'm ready to hand down a verdict. Hold on, Your Honor. There's just one thing I need to know. Why did you do this? Why did you frame Chloe and kill Brian?
He just guesses the answer is somehow correct.
Most importantly, why did you bomb a building?
You.
It is over. Confess your crimes now.
Well played, Cross. You've done our game perfectly. Come on in, Brian. See, he's not really dead. It was all a game.
I'm sorry. You wouldn't understand. You'd never... It wasn't my fault. Explain yourself. Brian, he wanted to control us. He threatened me with that bomb. The fake bomb in the basement. Yes, I thought he was insane. He was willing to blow up the building. He said if I didn't comply, he'd kill us all. He wanted to use my political influence to push AI rights. AI rights? Laws regarding artificial intelligence? Yes, he wanted to give AI full citizenship. People like him, they're willing to give a computer the same protection as a human. Think of how many resources could go into medical costs, housing, food banks. And instead he wants it to preserve his experiments. No, if anyone's a criminal here, it's Isaac Bryan.
Damn.
Order. Please settle down. Senator, how did Brian die? Is it obvious? I killed him. Ran him over with a car.
Wait, what? What? I'm gonna blow you up. Give me just a moment. I'm just gonna get in the car. I'm gonna blow you up. Ah! Or is that like, or is it like that scene in Austin Powers? No! Get out of the way! Get out of the way! No! Like, no! No, okay, yeah, here's, no! Get out of the way! No! No! Just slowly. Okay, that's enough anyway. Right over the car. Use the same car to move the body.
What about the proximity? Wouldn't you have thought the bomb would explode?
He said the proximity trigger itself was on a timer. In other words, it hadn't activated yet. I don't want to risk moving the bomb. Instead, I let the trigger activate an hour later. And I simply left it as is.
Serious everyone's lies by bringing them to the dining hall.
Yeah, it makes no sense. I was making this up. Relax. As you've now seen, there was no threat after all. Why'd you bomb the office building? I was AI activists. I did it to send a message. A message? That building was the headquarters of the late Daniel Yard. Daniel Yard? What did he have to do with it? So you know him? Good. You know he's one of them, right?
An AI activist?
Indeed. He used to fund the Zero program.
The Zero program?
So then, Brian wouldn't be the first. I just knew it. There would be more.
You had time to get a car. I was cooking.
Yeah, the senator,
he was on heroin and cocaine.
It was drugs. He's a corrupt senator. They can do whatever they want. As long as the crazy movement kept going, we'd never see the end of violence. Bomb threats, riots, protests. What's next? It had to end. That's why I destroyed their headquarters. Send a message. I'm using a completely different voice for what I started with this guy. Don't look so depressed. I made sure everyone was out of the building in time. I believe we've heard enough. I'm taking this as a confession of your crime. Take it however you want. The true culprit is dealt with. Brian is dead. You'll be given a proper trial to determine the severity of your actions. You're hurting your throat. Don't worry too much.
I'm drinking water. Don't worry.
But now we vote on Mrs. Chloe's verdict. Counselors? Mr. Grosh, you've gone above and beyond the call to find the truth. For that, I applaud your efforts. Guilty. Not guilty. She's gonna say, what an amazing performance by both sides. Watching a criminal confess is as entertaining as the crime itself. Not guilty. Well done, Mr. Cross. You really made him pay for it. Alright, the final vote. Not guilty.
The defendant is cleared of all charges.
I'm the defendant right now! Fuck you guys! I'm clear now! And he just runs off.
We did it. We really did it. And Vilmer. Send me away, do what you must. Justice was already served. Send the senator to the detention center. That'll be all for today. Court dismissed. Fuck yeah. Woo! That was chapter 4.
The happy music, yeah.
Phew. That went on way too long.
But we did it! You did it! You saved me!
He has some other people to thank as well. He's so tired looking.
Miss Chloe, I'm glad you made it out all right. It was only thanks to your testimony. I don't know what we would have done without it.
Another life-saving testimony from Flowers. I'm glad she was there. Apologies for getting ejected from the court, Sir Cross. Nothing to apologize for. The plan worked. If anything, I should be sorry you got banned in the first place. Hey, what about me? I helped too. That you did. Without your dedication to the analysis, we wouldn't have found out when the victim actually died.
Conrad, you're forgetting something else.
And your jams saved the day. Ha! I knew you'd like it. I'm totally gonna be a DJ now. Can't believe I'm thinking this, but I'd rather you stay as a detective.
What happened to Skylar?
He was let go with a warning. After all, he was being forced to cooperate. Still, his true role in all this is still a mystery. Seemed like an odd fellow with a lot of stories to tell. He should have his own movie or something.
Oh, I bet plenty of people would want to see that.
I wouldn't be so sure. Well, with that over, I believe a proper celebration is in order. A proper celebration? With no bomb threats, no terrorists, no murders? Count me in, but you're paying. Done and done. Let's eat. Is something wrong? There's still something that bothers me. Downey Yard was involved in one of my previous cases. I had no idea he was associated with the Zero data. Do you worry that you might be connected as well? I'm as much a part of this mysterious project as anyone by this point. I just feel like there's something bigger at stake here. If we assume Brian and Yard were working together, we can't assume that. The AI movement isn't some organization. It's an idea. So long as that idea continues, their ideology is sound. Technology is the future, and we should embrace that. The benefits to our society are far worth the risks. I know. What I mean is, we need to all be on the same page. Information is key. Maybe this world can be a better place if we just knew more. Anyways, we can talk more about this later. Prepare your wallet. I'm ordering the biggest meal you could ever imagine. Oh god. The dev is saying, trust Sora. Sora uses ChatGPT on the daily. God damn it. Let's join the others then. Nice. No, this has made it into 4 times! This has made it into 4 times! Oh, God. And so, another case closed, another day saved. I started to think we were getting pretty good at this. But I learned otherwise in the events that followed. For the world was about to turn upside down. I'm gonna save here because I have a feeling this is exactly where it's gonna end. Oh, before it did, however, I had one last fight left in me. The scary part wasn't what the world did to me, but what I did to the world. And so, another case closed, another day saved. And as always, another case opened.